Tell me a little bit about why Ronald McDonald House is so important to you.
Back in 1986, I was discovered having leukemia. And then later down the road, I ended up having a heart transplant 19 months ago. I can certainly relate to all these kids and what they were going through.
A lot of families who get and benefit from Ronald McDonald House know cancer very well. So let's talk a little bit about your journey. You were in your 20s. I'm sure the last thing you ever expected to go through. Let's talk about what that moment in time was like.
In college, I had been president of the student body, and then I went to work for an investment bank in New York. And when I was at the investment bank, there were four things that really happened. One was there was a lot of stress involved. I did not get much sleep. I did not get any exercise, and I had potato chips for dinner. Through that experience, I ended up getting lumps on my head. And people would feel the lumps on my head, and they nicknamed them my friends, and they were definitely not my friends. I went to 3 doctors. They thought they were fatty cysts. I came back to Houston in April of '86. I asked my brother, who's 9 years younger, if he wanted to go on a run. I hadn't been exercising. I went out for a run. I ran about the length of one driveway away from our driveway, and I couldn't run anymore. And my dad was on the St. Luke's board, and he said, let's go over and get a chest x-ray, which I did. And they discovered a mass in my chest the size of a football. So that was scary, and they did some biopsies and testing. And then I remember the day I was lying on my bed one afternoon in my parents' house, and we got the call from the doctor. And when he said that I had leukemia, I remember the first thing that pops into my head is that I'm in a coffin with nails being driven into that coffin. And it was the most frightening thing I had ever been through, for sure, in my life. I never knew this, but I did talk to my mom a few days ago, and she said that the prognosis was that I was going to live for 2 weeks. And that's what they gave me, through lots of prayer and lots of love, through my family, through friends, through continuing to work to keep myself involved with something and keep your mind off of what was going on. We went through 2 years of treatment. I had a bone marrow transplant. I lost all my hair. I lost my eyebrows. I even lost my eyelashes. And if you can imagine you have this beautiful hair. If you looked in the mirror and you had no hair, no eyelashes, no eyebrows, you really just become a lump of clay. It's really an impersonal feeling. So now I love the fact that I have hair. I love the fact that I have hair every day. After the bone marrow transplant and more chemotherapy, I went to Stanford for business school. I showed up with no hair. I never told anybody what my situation was. But for probably 10 years, at least once a week, I would think that I had a problem. I would think I had a relapse. I had a lump. I had some issue, and I'd go racing off I remember one time I was taking an exam in business school, and I finished the exam really quick because I felt a lump, and I just had to go down to San Francisco to get it tested. So I lived kind of with this fear.
And when I hear you talking about this, and as my own child who had leukemia when he was in kindergarten, I remember that first year of treatment and of staying home every single day for a year. We didn't go anywhere. And I'm sure you had a lot of isolation, obviously, after that transplant, making sure that there weren't any germs that came into your life. So how do you parallel that with what we are all going through right now? Because I don't know if you're like me, I have so just deja vu of being at home day after day and making the best of it and making the times happy.
On Monday I woke up, and I don't know whether it was the stress of doing this thing today, but for some reason I just woke up and I was just melancholy, a little depressed. It was just like, whoa, I haven't been depressed in 2 years. What is this? And I've been reading about social isolation, and social isolation is a very dangerous thing. Social isolation is, for a heart transplant patient, you're 3.5 more times likely to die if you don't have a support network. To me, when you go to the Ronald McDonald House and you see what they're doing over there, every day after school, all the parents line up in the entryway, and all the kids come home from school, and they get these big hugs, and they all go and they have snacks together. And there's tutoring every day at the Ronald McDonald House. All these volunteer tutors come in, they tutor all these kids to make sure they have all kinds of cool. It's this incredibly loving environment. And when I was in the hospital waiting for my heart for 55 days, I kept a record. I had over 120 family and friends visit me. But there were other people in the critical care unit where I was that had zero. They may not even have a family member there. Right now in social isolation, this hurts your immune system. People are 50 to 9 in social isolation. When you really have no interaction with other people, you are 50 to 80% higher likelihood of passing away than people who have an engaged social life. We are social beings. Over 500,000 years of evolution of the Homo sapiens species, we have been constructed with the hormones that make us social. I was told the story that the executive director of the Ronald McDonald House walked in and she saw a woman who only speaks Spanish. She was with a woman from Dubai that only spoke Arabic, and the woman from Mexico was helping the woman from Dubai learn how to cook tortillas with masa. You go, oh my gosh, these are families, unlike Cole Dawson, who is from Houston, who may have all these visitors. These are people that can't even speak the language. And there's this feeling of support.
So what are your final thoughts on lessons learned, on your just take-home message to everybody?
I think my take-home message is that the Ronald McDonald House supports people in a way that is going to help those kids survive. It is a very loving, wonderful organization. It's something that Carla and I have supported for over 25 years. We believe in their message. And from someone who has seen it from my side, you really appreciate all those volunteers. And that's another thing about this place. How many volunteers have been there for 25 years? Like the board members, these people have all been there for like 20 and 25 years. They love it. They love this feeling of camaraderie, their tribe, and they feel supported and valued. And that's what's so wonderful about that place. So,
it says it all. Well, you've been through a lot. Thank you for sharing your journey with us. And I'm so glad that you're a cancer survivor, you are a heart transplant survivor, you're thriving, and you're still making a difference in so many lives. So God bless you and continue to take good care. And I wish you only good health from now on.
Thank you. You too. And all the best to your child.
All right. Take care of yourself.
Bye-bye.